Sorry, I didn't even ask. I mean, hopefully you're like good to go.
Yeah, that countdown is so fucking funny.
It is. It is. It is. It is. It's actually recording high quality. Okay, cool. All right, Mondi. Uh,
Hello, Julian. Good
we got a lot of
evening.
things to discuss. Okay, he's trying to draw out his Dracula isms because he knows that I at least
Good
enjoyed one thing.
evening.
Yeah, so let's get into it, man. News, reviews, updates, tidbits, and factoids. We both just
Yes,
saw
sir.
Blue Beetle. We have other film and TV reviews to get to, plus a whole bunch of other news. So let's just get right into it, man.
Sure thing, sure thing. Let's start with some sports media news here. We have two important new joinings of two combinations. The first one we have is Richard Sherman is joining Skip Bayless on
Mm-hmm.
Undisputed. What are your thoughts on this tandem? Can they work? Do you like Richard Sherman's style?
So I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not familiar with Richard Sherman in the sense of like his debating style. I think I used to see him on First Take, and from what I remember, him and Skip didn't necessarily get along. Uh,
He called him
but
a failure at life.
yeah, okay, there we go. So yeah, but time heals all wounds, I guess, and we'll see.
No,
We'll
money heals
see.
all wounds.
Yeah, okay, there's that too. But
Yeah.
from what I'm hearing, I don't know if Richard Sherman is like a permanent guy. Like he might be kind of in that JJ Redick role where, obviously if it's more football oriented or whatever the case may be, he'll probably be on those segments, but I don't think he's going to be on there with Skip 24/7. But look, whatever the case is, shout out to Undisputed. I mean, Skip was the heart of the show, if we want to say that, and I think that he was the more important person in the show. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. So yeah, cool. Let's do it. I guess. I mean, I was never the biggest fan of Undisputed anyway. I'm not going to watch this any more than I watched Undisputed before, but I am glad that it's continuing. I'll say that.
Yeah, I totally argue the opposite. That Shannon was the bigger draw than Skip, and maybe that caused some jealousy amongst the set. Who knows? I don't know everything, but that's what I'd argue. And I like Richard Sherman. The pairing, I'd have to see it like in real time. But Richard Sherman's actually a very very educated guy. I believe he went to Stanford, I believe, and he
Yeah,
speaks well. And I think he could be possibly a really good debating partner for Skip.
I hope you're right.
Next tandem we have the big one is Shannon Sharp is joining Stephen A. Smith on First Take for Mondays and Tuesdays as of right now.
Hmm.
This was kind of in the rumor mill for a while. Now it's finally confirmed.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this pairing?
I like it. I mean, how can you not enjoy this? Two similar personalities, and both of them are kind of loud and boisterous, and both of them will kind of like die on the hill of their opinion. But I think that it's going to make for good television, if nothing else. So, people don't watch Inside the NBA because it's like great analysis and shit they watch it because Shaq is super entertaining. Charles Barkley's always saying some outlandish shit, and Kenny is instigating, and like it's funny, like it works. So hopefully this can be something where it's not so serious all the time with First Take. And like obviously they've still got to tackle issues, and the show is still a debate show, so obviously they're going to be going back and forth, and feelings are going to be hurt and what have you. But hopefully they can have more of a TV show, if that makes any sense, and it can be a little more entertaining. So I'm really looking forward to this. What do you think?
Yeah, same here. This is like a dream pairing for me. These two, like you said, are two huge personalities. ESPN about to get real black. Boy, it's about to be
Yeah, they are.
I feel like it's about to be a whole lot of highlight reels on Twitter of
Oh,
these two
facts.
just being just outlandish, and I'm totally here for it. I wish it was more than just Monday and Tuesday, but I'll take what we get for right now.
I'm sure it will be at some point.
I just saw Stephen A. Smith's entire interview on the Paul George podcast. It was amazing, man.
It was. I agree. I watched the whole thing too.
Yeah, and it was something I put on. Like I'm at the gym, I'm thinking like, okay, I'll just put on 20 minutes, see what is going on. But I was totally engaged the entire time. Stephen A. Smith is every time he does anybody's podcast, whether it be Draymond's or JJ Redick's or I mean all the smoke,
Yeah.
he always just drops so many gems, man. It was just an amazing watch for anybody who is a sports fan might want to check it out.
Yeah, he's a super interesting guy. He's got a lot of great stories. And it's like you said about Shannon Sharp or Richard Sherman. Like Stephen A. is so knowledgeable. Not just the big words, but like you can tell that he's plugged in and he just knows shit. So it was very interesting and very entertaining. The podcast with Paul George, anyway.
Yeah. Also, sports fans, check out the Steph Curry Hot Ones interview. That's when he's eating the chicken wings. They get increasingly hotter. It's really good as well. All right. Moving on to some video game news. We have the first look at The Walking Dead Destinies. This is a game that kind of goes through the events of seasons 1 through 4 of The Walking Dead, and it gives players the choice to rewrite the story and experience "quote unquote" what if scenarios. It's got PS2 graphics, but what are your thoughts on the game?
It's okay, so the description of the game sounds interesting, right? Like I think a lot of people, including myself, really liked Shane as a character, especially John Bernthal's portrayal of Shane. And we were like, man, like I wish I could see more of him. So this is your opportunity to do just that. And the trailer, the trailer made sure to hone in on, hey guys, if you want Shane to be the main character, play this fucking game because this is your chance. I couldn't get past the graphics. The graphics look absolutely abysmal. And it's funny. Like I wasn't even sure that. Like I thought that I was just being harsh and negative because I was just like it's me. I hate everything apparently. So like clearly these graphics are not as bad as I'm making them out to me. But I checked the comments and like literally everybody was like the graphics. I was like, okay, thank God, like because these graphics fucking suck. The voice acting wasn't great either, but I do think like conceptually it's a great idea, but I'm not gonna play this. I don't care. They're 10 years too late.
Yeah. I'm not even like a video game guy. The first thing I said was PS2 graphics. Like that shit looks fucking horrible.
It does.
But like you said, from a conceptual, I mean, I watched seasons 1 through 4. I was engaged during that time period.
Yeah.
That would be a cool thing if I was, still playing games or whatever. But yeah, the graphics are just I don't know what's going on with the graphics.
Okay.
We have the trailer for a South Park video game called South Park Snow Day. Any thoughts on this trailer?
I was surprised you tagged me in this. I was just like, what possibly made you think that I would give a fuck about this? And I don't see why you care about this either. So you tell me what you thought about this 1 minute snippet of South Park being in snow.
It actually looks fucking amazing. Like, I mean, like I said, I don't play games anymore, but if I did, it kind of gave me like Simpsons hit and run vibes. Like, it just looked like a very fun time for maybe like a younger audience. It had better graphics than the Walking Dead game. And I don't know, it just looked like a fun time. I mean, we don't always got to be tagging stuff that applies to us, but maybe our listeners or our viewers might want to, be engaged or have some kind of interest in that. So that's why I tagged you in it.
Okay. Got it. Cool.
Who do you think is more pessimistic out of me and you on the pod?
Oh, it's 100% me.
Okay, good. I just wanted you to know that. All right, last video game trailer we have is for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the DLC, The Hidden Treasures of Area Zero, Part 1. The Teal Mask. Wow, that title is still going. It's launching September 13th on Nintendo Switch. What are your thoughts on the new DLC for Scarlet and Violet?
I can't stand it. I can't stand this trend of just video games either purposely not putting out a full game for the sole purpose of putting out DLC later just to make more money, or for them putting out this type of bullshit where it's just like, yeah, here's like another adventure. First of all, when the original game launched, it was so bad. Like the playability of it. Did you ever get around to playing it by chance?
I never did. That or Arceus. I never played them.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much. It was to the point where like the like literally like I like could not play the game anymore. Like I was just like I don't want to deal with this. I'm sure eventually they released a fix, but by that time I was already out. I mean, look, it may just be over for me in Pokemon. Like I may just be too old to enjoy it. I mean, I had 20 to 25 years of a good time playing it, but maybe it's just past my time, man, because this doesn't excite me. I'm not buying this. I'm not checking for this. I'm sick and tired of going through generations of Pokemon, just essentially doing the same shit over and over and over. Yeah, I mean, I'm completely out at this point. Like I'm out. I don't want this. I don't want to see this. I'm out.
Man, unfortunately, I might be on the same page. I mean, I might have outgrown Pokemon as well. It is just the same thing over and over again. However, as a fan, I do look forward to seeing the new Pokemon that come out with each generation. I always check for it on the Pokédex, online. But in terms of the gameplay, they've done nothing to kind of elevate it or progress it. Arceus was promised us something different with the open world thing, but I never got a chance to experience that. So maybe there is something down the line for me. It was cool seeing some of the new evolutions that we have. I mean, Pokemon's getting outlandish with these evolutions. Now they got like there's like a Raikou that's like a fucking giraffe. Like it's just getting
Yeah,
crazy.
so yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's called part one, so that implies there will be a part two or maybe even a part three. So,
Oh, yeah.
it's getting crazy out here.
Before we move on, I want to talk about NBA 2K24 really quickly.
Sure.
Because how fucking dare they? I mean, I feel like I said the same thing about this year every year too, but they're charging $70 for the base game. It costs $100 to max out a single build, and you have to buy a $20 or $30 battle pass, which resets every 2 or 3 months or something like that. It's just it's so ridiculous. Like it's so ridiculous. And honestly, if you play these games, you're literally wasting your money by just getting the $70 edition. Like you pretty much have to get the $150 edition because it comes with NBA League Pass for the full year. It comes with 100,000 VC. But even that's just not fair. Like I'm just sick of NBA 2K being pay to win, and it's like this every year. And I still buy it every year, so I'm a fool. But it's just it's so frustrating, and it's never going to change because too many people buy it and stream it, so it's never going to change. But it's very frustrating. I fucking hate it.
Wait, you can buy NBA 2K in a package that includes League Pass, like you can watch all the games.
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
As of last year, they added $150 edition. It comes with the game, a whole bunch of other perks, plus NBA League Pass for the full year. It's a great deal, honestly.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, like I just want to hoop on niggas. I'm like forced to spend $150 plus every year on this. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
What's your build? Your typical build you go for on 2K?
Typically, I try to make like a Kevin Garnett, Anthony Davis type, 6'10" guy, shoot the mid range. He'll dunk on you, he'll defend, but that build is obsolete now. Like if your guy isn't shooting threes, just like the NBA. Like if you've got a big man and he's not shooting threes, he's pretty much useless. There's like you can't build a Rudy Gobert and be satisfied in 2K anymore. You just can't. You just can't. So yeah. It's unfortunate.
Have you seen that tweet? It was like niggas be building they dream nigga on 2K as their mouth player. It'd be a nigga using a light skinned nigga with tattoos and green eyes be their mouth player.
Yeah, that's what a lot of white kids do apparently. They like make black players, which is a little weird, but whatever.
A little like Get Out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Fetishize. Anyway, let's talk some stuff in the works now. Craig Mazin indicates that The Last of Us will have 4 seasons. His quote is, "You never know. It can end up being 3 or 5, but 4 seems like a good number." I mean, I know there's only 2 games. The first season covered the first game. They're going to have to expand, obviously, on the lore, or maybe they're going to stretch out season 2. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, there's no way they can stretch out the second game to being 3 seasons. That's just impossible. So yeah, they're going to have to expand the lore, which is honestly, I don't hate that. The Last of Us has a whole bunch of lore to explore, so I'm totally fine with that. I mean, look, essentially it's going to end up being what The Walking Dead turned into when they did Fear the Walking Dead World Beyond, the new one with Rick and Michonne, the one with Daryl going up to Europe or whatever the fuck he is, the one with Negan and Maggie. It's going to be the same shit. So, this is what happens when a show becomes successful, and yeah, we've got to deal with it, I guess.
All right, from the Last of Us fan himself.
Yeah.
Talk to Me 2 is in the works at A24. It's been doing really good in terms of its ROI. This is the horror movie with the smaller budget. I reviewed it on the pod a couple pods ago. I think it's a good watch if you're a horror fan. I'm not in love with it like everybody else is, but definitely it has some refreshing elements to it. Did you get around to seeing this movie at all?
No. It's still in theaters though. And
yeah,
every time I look to go get a ticket for something I actually want to see, I have to like scroll past Talk to Me. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, Talk to Me in theaters. Go watch it, guys. They're getting a sequel.
Well, part 2. Yeah. Do you have any intention on watching part 1 ever, or not really?
Probably not.
Is it just because the trailer didn't sell you? Because I know you're a big horror guy, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't even remember the trailer, but yeah, I mean, I just don't have an interest in seeing it as of right now. I mean, who knows? My feeling could change tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay, well, if you're ever on a plane, it's a good plane movie. Charles Raven says they are looking to do an Uncharted sequel to the movie with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. The fans, his quote is, "The fans really like the movie, and people who didn't know anything about the game really like the movie as well." Don't know where that came from, but what are your thoughts on that on that statement?
Cool, I guess. I mean, you're the only one that you didn't play the game, but you said the movie was straight, right? Like you was like, you know,
I gave it like a B or a B minus. It's cool, but I promise you, whatever he said about niggas checking for Uncharted 2, no, nigga. No.
Where is it? Where is it? Where's the announcement?
Where is that? Like, literally, no one is checking for Uncharted 2. I promise you.
especially not Tom fucking Holland. This nigga does not
But
care.
to be fair, it wasn't bad. Though. It really wasn't bad. You didn't watch it?
No.
Okay. You played the games, all right?
No. I played a little bit of one of them, and I was just like, I'm cool. I get it. It's Tomb Raider.
Okay, cool. Let's talk some teasers and trailers and your favorite segment of the pod.
All right.
We have the teaser to the Scott Pilgrim anime, starring the original movie cast, so Michael Cera, Anna Kendrick, everybody. Releasing November 17th on Netflix, guys. It's out for our Scott Pilgrim fans. Please try to get Julian to watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He will not do it. He'll love it. It's got video games. It's got anime. It's got fighting. I don't know why he just won't watch it, guys. Please get him to watch it. What are your thoughts?
This is funny. You niggas literally have no power over me. And it showed in this trailer because not only did I not have any context, I didn't give a single fuck about anything I saw here. But this isn't for me. This is for you who love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. So, Mondi, tell me how amazing this was and tell me how you can't wait to watch it when it comes out on Netflix in November.
Yep. Trailer didn't do too much, just because it didn't show much. But like I said, I'm a huge fan of the world, and man, Julian, I really think you would enjoy this. I mean, you know, I'm gonna keep plugging it anytime I get a chance. But I think it's got everything you would like in it. Okay. Lakeith Stanfield stars in the first trailer for the series coming to Apple TV Plus, titled The Changeling. This is premiering on September 8th. What are your thoughts on this series trailer with Lakeith?
Yeah. It didn't look like anything that I would ever like jump for joy to watch, or that would be like appointment TV for me. But obviously, I'm a fan of Lakeith Stanfield. His last few performances, notwithstanding, Yasuke and
Haunted Mansion.
yeah, thank you.
Oh, you didn't watch Haunted Mansion?
I saw enough. That's not true. I didn't watch it. But yeah, this looked ridiculous. I'm sorry. It almost looked like some A24 type shit where they're just like, oh, there's these mystical things, everything's happening. Oh. Not gonna watch this. I don't care about this. What do you think about this, Monty? You get 3 wishes. If you cut the ribbon, something happens. They didn't tell us in the trailer, so something happens.
It's funny how A24 has it's like its own genre now.
It is.
But no, I thought this was super intriguing. I mean, I'm sorry you didn't feel that way, but it looked very interesting just from a plot standpoint and everything that was going on in the trailer. The woman that was his opposite in his lead or co-star, she's like breathtakingly beautiful. I know that's random, but I was like, wow, who is this? Never seen you before. But yeah, I think this could be a really good watch. It looks super original. I'm all for original content. It's not attached to any IP, so I'll definitely be checking for this. Actually, me personally.
Lucky you.
We have. Okay, you're just the worst. We have the trailer. We have the trailer for the John Wick spinoff, The Continental, streaming on Peacock September 22nd. What are your thoughts on this series coming to Peacock?
Yeah, young Winston, good evening.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest
Lance
in peace.
Reddick.
Lance Reddick, thank you. Yeah. If I'm being real, this didn't move me either. I will say I was surprised at the amount of action that they tried to give away in a trailer. It was about a 3-minute trailer, and it felt like every other scene was just, them kung fu, which is cool. I love me some kung fu, but it's just something. I mean, for me, I think it's just missing that star quality of Keanu Reeves being there. I think a lot of movie studios drastically underestimate what star quality can do, and we got 4 really great John Wick films. I don't care about a young Winston doing whatever he's doing to save the Continental. I just don't. I'm probably not going to watch this either. So, yeah. What do you think, though, Monty?
Yeah, man. It looked awesome to me. I'm not gonna lie. It looked absolutely awesome. Which is surprising. I thought it was gonna be horrible. Like you said, we got a young Sharon, played by, Lance Reddick's character in the series. I'm digging the whole '70s setting. They're really kind of leaning into that. They have the whole comic bookiness of the John Wick franchise that they obviously increased with each entry, and this show is definitely leaning into that as well. Like it feels like a comic book come to life, and I was surprised at the budget that looked like they have behind it. And so, yeah, I mean, as a big John Wick fan, which you claim to be as well, I don't see how this doesn't interest you at least. But I'll definitely be checking for this for sure.
Told you why. I need John Wick. It's that simple.
Okay. We have a new trailer for the movie called Fair Play coming to Netflix October 13th, starring Alden Ehrenreich, who played Solo and Han Solo. He was just an Oppenheimer, and Phoebe Dwyer from what's it called? Bridgerton. What are your thoughts on the Fair Play trailer?
Wow, that is her. Yeah. I cut it off. This looked like some bullshit, some bootleg thriller shit that I just didn't care about. I watched.
You are just grumpy today, ain't you?
No, I watched a minute and a half of this 2-minute trailer, and I was like, I've seen enough. This is not for me. I don't care about this. Mondi, tell me that you're gonna watch this as soon as it comes out.
Probably won't, to be honest. But like I said, I tag you and stuff that our audience might enjoy. But it has that Gone Girl / Deep Water type of like sexy thriller. If you're into those kind of 50 Shades of Grey type shit, like movies, Obsessed or whatever, like this is up your alley. But for me, as you would say, I guess it would need some more star power for me to watch this. But it's one of those sexy thrillers, whatever, who cares? We have a trailer for Sitting in Bars with Cake. That's the title, guys. Sitting in Bars with Cake, starring Yara Shahidi. It's been released. The film debuts on Prime Video on September 8th. What are your thoughts on this trailer?
This is actually a really good trailer. I think they said this was inspired by a true story. It's interesting, like, just what just a death can bring to any type of story. It automatically brings heart and seriousness to it, and something as ridiculous as taking cakes to bars, it kind of like grounds it and just makes it seem real. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm gonna watch this as soon as it comes out, because that's just not the truth. But I would check for this, and I wouldn't be surprised if I hear good things about this. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. What do you think, Monty?
The shit that appeals to you to this day, it can completely surprises me. I have no idea what's for you and what's not. But I mean, this was cool, I guess. I mean, I love Yara Shahidi. I'm a big fan of Grownish. I want her to get more work. I think she belongs on the silver screen. I mean, like you said, it's an interesting original premise, I guess, but I would need to see more. It looks like I hate movies that try to bait the audience into feeling something, like just make it organic. Like you said, with the whole, it gave like Fault in Our Stars with the girls got cancer and like stuff like that, which I understand is real life. It could make for a compelling story, but it just felt a little bit too worm on the hook for me, personally. But we'll see. I might check it out.
You will.
We have the trailer for John Cena and Little Rel Howery star in the trailer for Vacation Friends 2. The trailer, the movie comes out August 25th on Hulu.
Wow.
Did you see part 1, and are you checking for this trailer? I know John Cena's your boy.
He is my boy. I saw part 1, and I couldn't believe how terrible this fucking movie was. I couldn't believe I sat through this entire movie, which is crazier. But I did. I watched the entire part 1, and it's. I mean, I think my quote about that film is just that, like, this was just Lil Rel Howery was just doing what Kevin Hart did in Central Intelligence, and John Cena was just doing what The Rock did for Central Intelligence. Like, it's the goofball with the serious guy, and chaos ensues. Except it's just done way worse because it's not Kevin Hart and The Rock. But yeah, I mean, this part 2 looked like the exact same thing. I didn't enjoy it in part 1. That doesn't mean that I didn't laugh at some of the gags. Of course I laughed. But do I remember like a single plot thread that mattered in that film? No. And I don't care to experience it twice. So I will be skipping the fuck out of this. But shout out to Lil Rel, shout out to John Cena. I'm happy that they're still doing stuff. And I guess the first one was successful to some extent, that they're making a part 2, but they're not getting me this time.
Yeah, I didn't watch part 1. I'm not planning on watching this. It's always a horrible sign when I'm watching the trailer and I don't even crack a smile, or I just watch it with a straight face for a straight up comedy like this. And so yeah, it did nothing for me to engage me or get me intrigued at all. So I'll definitely be skipping Vacation Friends too. Last trailer here, guys, is for You Are So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah. It comes out August 25th, I believe, on Netflix.
It is.
This is starring Adam Sandler's daughter. Both of his daughters. One daughter is the main star, and the other one's like the sister of the main star in the movie, I believe. What are your thoughts? Adam Sandler's in it as well. What are your thoughts on this trailer?
Yeah, another interesting trailer in that it kind of gave me. This is gonna sound weird, but like it gave me like 2002, 4 vibes, like that like type of film where it's centered around high school or middle school, whatever. So I know you love this, Monty, but look in that the overarching story is going to be ridiculous, but it's not about the overarching story. It's more about the people that's in the story and their day to day and their relationships with each other, which I'm not sure how often we get anymore. Shout out to Adam Sandler. He has like a crazy deal with Netflix. Like it feels like he's pumping out a movie a year with them, which is great. Or every other year, whatever.
It's 2 movies a year. Earlier, he just had the movie with Jennifer Aniston, the part 2 of the first one he did. I didn't watch the first one.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, shout out to him and Netflix. They've got a great relationship. And honestly, I hope that this is a good movie. I guess this will be his daughter's acting debut. So yeah, I mean, I hope it's good. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I love me a coming of age film. There's only one film or subgenre I like more than superhero, and that's coming of age. And this is totally coming of age. It deals with middle school, high school. That's my sweet spot. I'm excited to see what Adam Sandler's daughters can do. I mean, I'm sure they're talented. I can't wait to see. And yeah, I'm excited for this, man. I like movies like this. So yeah,
I know you do. Okay.
All right, bitch. So it's time for the review section. Do you have any shows? I got one show. Do you have any shows that you want to review?
Nah, I just have 2 films, no shows.
All right. So the show I have is Twisted Metal. I ended up watching it. This is the show on Peacock based off the video game starring Anthony Mackie. This is the third. Okay, Samoa Joe, but he's not speaking out. It's voiced by Will Arnett. But yeah, Samoa Joe plays the clown Sweet Tooth. This is the third post-apocalyptic show I've watched so far this year. The first one being Last of Us, second one being Sweet Tooth, fucking season 2, and now we have Twisted Metal. Where to start with this show? This show is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like everything in this show is just dialed up times 10. Like from the acting, including Anthony Mackie, like everybody is like, "Oh my god, I just killed him!" Like it's like everybody acts like live action cartoons 24/7. At first, it was exhausting and kind of corny. You kind of fall into like the routine of the show as it goes on. This is what you expect. If you ever wondered to yourself, like, what if Mad Max was a series on the CW? Which I've never wondered, but maybe somebody out there has. This is what you're gonna get with Twisted Metal. It's just like a Mad Max-esque show. Everything, like the blood, the gore, everything is just super, super like amped up. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of some of the sequences that happen in this show. It's just a lot of crazy shit. Like there was a scene when Samoa Joe is singing, or I guess Will Arnett, who voices him, is singing the thong song by Cisco while he's killing people. There's a scene where there's an old guy in a bar who smashes a whole watermelon with his dick. Like that's just normal stuff that happens on each episode. The main draw to the show for me was Anthony Mackie's chemistry with his co-star, played by Stephanie Beatrice. She voiced Mirabelle on the movie Encanto. They actually have a really good chemistry. It's really good. Every episode acts like a mini kind of adventure, like it's something different that they got to get through, like a video game. Like what level can you get through now? And I kind of look forward after a while to like, okay, what hijinks are they going to get themselves into? They have this weird thing that happens in the show where like every single episode, him and Stephanie Beatrice's character have like this huge falling out, and like they're like it's like a love-hate thing that goes on. That kind of got redundant after a while, but that's kind of the heart of the show, in my opinion. Neve Campbell was teased heavily in the trailer. She's barely in it, so if you're a Neve Campbell fan, guys, just be warned. But she'll probably have a lot more to do in season 2 because they definitely set up a season 2. The show is not good. I gave it like a C-, but it's one of those shows where I'll definitely check out season 2 just because I want to know what wild hijinks they're going to put Anthony Mackie into. And it's one of those shows where you can just kind of sit back, like after a long day of work or whatever. Not that I work. And just kind of a long day of just living life.
Yeah,
and be like,
just sleeping
what?
in.
let's watch some Twisted Metal. Why not? You know, it's a great background show, easy to follow. So not good. Like I said, I gave it a C minus, but I'll be checking for season 2 personally.
So you never played the video game, right?
Never. This is my first exposure to the world of Twisted Metal.
It's funny. I've been hearing that, I guess people that play the game, they like love this show, but you coming from the outside in didn't. So I didn't play the game either. So I guess that means I'm not gonna watch it either because I'm not gonna watch a fucking C minus. No thanks. So thank you, Minus, for letting me know.
Just my opinion. We tend to differ on our opinions all the time. So a C minus to me is probably like a B plus to you. It's very true.
Nope,
we differ more than we differ more than we agree.
That's not true.
Okay, and also it's Peacock's like biggest like release. So shout out Peacock. You got yourself an IP now with Twisted Metal. Yay.
Wow. Shots fired.
We saw 2 movies. We both saw Last Voyage of the Demeter and Blue Beetle, but there's one movie I saw called Heart of Stone on Netflix starring Gal Gadot. Just want to give you my thoughts on that real quick. It's the new Netflix release, guys. It's a spy movie, espionage. We get these kind of movies once every fucking couple months with these major streaming platforms, whether it be Hulu or Netflix or Amazon Prime, and they're all the same, man. I told myself I wasn't going to watch this movie. The trailer did nothing for me, but I ended up seeing, this is going to sound really horny of me, but I watched a Hot Ones interview with Gal Gadot. And I'm watching the interview like, this is a very attractive woman. I can sit through 2 hours of some bullshit. And that's what I did. It's it's got everything you would expect out of the spy genre. Like, I don't know why these movies are just so like, they never try to do anything different with these spy movies these days, like these streaming platform spy movies. Like, you've got the scene where somebody gets double crossed. You've got the scene where somebody's getting in a car chase through some random European vague city. You've got a scene where every single location has a big title card at the bottom because they're traveling across the globe. You've got a weapon that the villain wants where if you access to this weapon, you can access all technology in the world, like God's Eye in the Dark Knight. Like, every single spy thing has the same kind of thing, bro. Like, it's just too redundant for me. I don't understand why you would make a movie in a saturated subgenre like spy espionage and not try to do something different. Like, that's what's going to make you stand out, like maybe give it a comedy angle, or maybe give it an amazing cast, or just like Extraction does with the elite action sequences. Like, do something to stand out. But maybe Netflix's algorithm, I've had a rant about this before. I hate Netflix's algorithm. They just put something out, it trends for 1 or 2 weeks, and obviously it makes them some kind of money or return on investment. I just don't get it. But yeah,
that's my thoughts. You just said why they do it, but then you say you don't get it. Interesting. Okay, got it. They're a company, they want to make money, so.
But I don't see, like, I guess, what's the money in having something trend for 1 or 2 weeks? Like, where's the money coming from in that? I don't know.
They've been doing it for years, so obviously the money's good.
No, I'm saying, like, where is the money in that? I don't know the business, but anyway. Next movie, guys, is The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
No. We're talking about that last because that was the better movie, clearly. So let's talk about Blue Beetle first, please.
Okay. That's the bigger release, though, so that's why I put it last. We have Blue Beetle review. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Blue Beetle?
You can go first, Money. I'm interested to hear your opinion.
Okay. Well, first of all, I love the fact that we finally got a Mexican superhero with his Mexican. Stop! Don't do that.
No. With anytime you start off with praises, it just means that we're going in the opposite direction really fucking fast. But that's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks for exposing my review formula.
You put it on TikTok. Go ahead. Come on.
You watched it on TikTok?
No, I didn't. But I'm sure it's just regurgitation.
Wow. We're showcasing his Mexican family and his Mexican culture, which I thought was really, really great. I love that. Love that they have some kind of representation. Mm-hmm. I love George Lopez in the movie. He's absolutely hilarious. He's funny. It's everything you would come to expect from George Lopez. The film has 2 sequences that I think are really, really great and well done. The first one, the trailer spoiled way too fucking much, but it's when the scarab first attaches to Jaime Reyes. It's just a great scene. Just that whole extended sequence when he's flying in the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. And even the horror aspect stuff when the scarab is like taking over his whole body. Like, that was just done really, really well. It kind of gave me vibes of like Doc Ock and Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. Like, I love when like superhero type stuff can show you the horrors of getting these otherworldly type powers or abilities. That was done really well. And also there's a scene that's clearly meant to mirror the horror and fear that Mexican families would face if they were to be deported by ICE. And that was done really, really well. From an emotional standpoint, there was like some Mexican audience, or I don't know if they're Mexican, but some Hispanic members in my audience that were crying during that scene. So I can see how that can hit home. It was done very effectively. Now, there's 4 things in the movie I didn't like that kind of brought the grade down for me personally. Number 1 was the fact that we've been hearing this term thrown around in the media so much with superhero fatigue, right? And I love superhero movies, but I understood the fatigue 100% in this movie because it's just so formulaic, and it sticks to the tropes. It follows the tropes of every modern superhero movie these days, man. It didn't do anything creative or fresh, in my opinion. Number 2, the actor who plays Jaime Reyes, his name is Zolo Mandu. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. He's not bad at all, but he did nothing to the role to put his stamp on it. He plays the role like how it's written on the page, I'm sure, a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed young guy who just got powers and he's scared. But as an actor, you've got to dig deep and put your own stamp, your own identity on the role. Like when I first saw Wonder Woman in 2017, I went into it not liking Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, but I left thinking, you know what? She's my Wonder Woman. I want to see her only as Wonder Woman. With this guy, he's totally replaceable. If they cast somebody else, and I hate recasting, in part 2, I'd be like, okay, fine. Like, he did nothing to put his stamp on the role. It's just a generic performance, in my opinion. I'm sorry to Cobra Kai fans who are a fan of him from Cobra Kai, but he just didn't do it for me. Number 3, the suit itself. Very rarely does a suit look better when it's digitally enhanced or CGI. The actual practical suit, it looks like just a very good cosplay suit, like a very good party, like a very good Comic-Con cosplay suit when it's just practical. But when he's like flying around, and it looks much cooler, which is interesting because typically it's the opposite. The practical looks better. So maybe it's just because the suit is just so high tech, it's hard to do from a practical standpoint. But I remember seeing the behind the scene photos on Twitter that leaked. And I remember telling you, like, that shit looks awful. But you were like, no, it's going to look good in post. I was like, okay, we'll see. We'll see. And lastly, this is kind of just a gripe of mine. I'm tired of the superhero trope where the villain counterpart just has the exact same powers as the hero. It's just so unoriginal and just so played out. I guess Iron Man started it in 2008 with Robert Downey when he fought Ironmonger, but we see it so many times, whether it be Ant-Man versus Yellow Jacket, Incredible Hulk versus Abomination, Black Panther versus Killmonger,
versus Zod. Yeah,
Superman versus Zod, Venom versus any symbiote that comes, any fucking symbiote he fights, Morbius versus another vampire. Like,
yep.
Obviously it's done better in some instances than others, like with Killmonger and Zod, but it's just, I like seeing 2 different sets of power sets come together and fight. It just makes for a better movie. Overall, I gave it a C+. It's not bad. I just wanted the Mexican Hispanic community to have their own Black Panther, so to speak. Like, what Black Panther meant to us, to the Black community, was just, it was great not only because of the representation, but because it's actually a fucking great movie. You know, I think every kind of POC community deserves their own Black Panther to an extent. Like, whether it be Mexican or Indian or Middle Eastern, like, they all deserve their own Black Panther. I don't think this is it for the Mexican community. Who knows? I'm just an outsider. Maybe Mexican people do love it. I'm not sure, but I think it's a C+. I think you guys deserve better or more. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
So here's the thing, Mondi. I agree with a lot of what you said. I also gave this film a C. And if I'm being real, I wasn't really disappointed. I was more so just like, this is pretty much what I expected. And that's kind of unfortunate. So I'll just hit on some of the points here. The thing you mentioned about superhero fatigue, I mean, Jesus Christ. I literally put in here, I'm actually sick and tired of the same recycled plot points, the same recycled lines. You're just a kid. A parent or a loved one has to die. The bad guy has to be not only do they have to have the same power, they have to be the same ethnicity. Like in Black Panther, it was a nigga facing a nigga. In this, it was a Mexican facing a Mexican. I'm just like, bro, like, can we like, come on, like, it did the villain not only have to have like the same type of powers and suit and abilities, like, he had to be a Mexican guy too. Like, holy shit. The third act honestly felt like something out of Spy Kids. Like, I was just like, holy fuck. Like,
I was getting Spy Kids vibes too. I didn't want to say
no, Spy fucking Kids. The point you made about George Lopez, I mean, like, he just knows who he is and he knows how funny he is, and hopefully they just let him riff because he was extremely funny throughout the entirety of the film. The scene you mentioned about the deportation thing was very powerful. It's a very good scene. I think this was one of the greatest things about this movie, because I 100% believe it was them trying to trying to say this is that horror and pain we feel when something like this happens to our family. And then like, it culminating with the death of his father was just it was gut wrenching, man. Like I think the things that they got right with this movie were the family aspect. And I'm usually not that guy. Like usually that's your stick. Like you always care about their family and all that bullshit. But I think that they really nailed it here. Money, you do.
You love just sending strays at me. It'd be so unwarranted. I'm like, what the fuck?
No. Sorry. All right. What I say? Yeah. The family aspect was the best part. I enjoyed the sister, the mom, the grandma, the whole bit. It was all great. I will say the acting in this film was just not good. Particularly between the two Cord women, the old lady Cord and then like the Brazilian Cord. Like I thought both of them were like bad in most of the scenes that they were in where they had any dialogue, especially at the end. But my main critique though is that I wanted more Blue Beetle in the film. Like I felt like the Blue Beetle only had maybe 20 minutes of screen time in this hour and 40-something minute runtime. Which is weird. I enjoyed the scenes that Blue Beetle was in, but I just feel like we didn't get enough of that. And I also feel like they kind of missed the boat with the Jaime and the Scarab going back and forth. Like we really didn't get that at all until the end. But it's an origin story, so we've got to go through the whole origin shit again and again and again. So yeah, ultimately, I'm pretty sure I fell asleep like halfway through this movie. Like I low key did. And wow. I had to pull my chair up because, here in Vegas, we have the recliner chairs. So I had to like pull my chair up to like make sure I stay up. Cause I was just bored a lot of the time through this, man. Like I see movies way too often and I see these kind of movies way too often for it to be as formulaic and just ABC as it was. And ultimately that's why I gave it a C. This isn't a bad movie. And honestly, I think somebody from the Mexican ilk may really enjoy this because there were a lot of references to like the TV shows and their culture and things like that just flew over my head that the people next to me were, giddy about. So great, good for you. If this is good enough for you, then fine. But as somebody from the outside looking in, this wasn't it. And hopefully we'll see Jaime return. I mean, that's what the post-credit scenes tried to tease, but does it really matter? I mean, it's like you said, like if the actor who plays Jaime gets replaced tomorrow, are we going to care? I don't think so. If Blue Beetle is never seen again, are we going to care? I don't think so. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Okay, it's some more things I wanted to say. You brought up some good points. Number one, did you feel the same way I felt about the suit, or maybe am I tripping? Like the practical it looked.
So I thought that when it was the CGI, it looked great and it looked believable at least or passable. When it was just him and they had it like with the head when he was just the head in the suit, it looked pretty ridiculous. Yeah, it looked like rubbery or something almost, which is weird. But it didn't take me out the movie. I mean, I was already done and judged by that point. So yeah, I'm serious, man. I did not have a good time watching this.
So is this? You tell me. I'm not sure. Is this part of James Gunn's universe? Because I've seen differing reports that it is, and I've seen that it isn't. So do you know?
Here, because obviously I don't know, but I mean, here's my 2 cents. The original Justice League intro that we always get wasn't there in this movie, and in the opening credits, it did say a Safran production. So I'm assuming that this is a part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's vision. But I could be totally wrong. That could just be 2 coincidences. I don't know.
Did you see the LexCorp building?
I did, yeah. I saw the LexCorp building, and I saw the Ace Chemicals building next to it, which is cute. So, yeah.
And the Gotham Law hoodie he had on? Yep. I guess he went to some Gotham school. Mm-hmm. That was interesting. It's also just wanted to point out as well that this movie might have the worst post-credit scene I've seen since Ant-Man. Like, remember when Ant-Man at the end, when the ant was drumming on the drums? This one is just... This is just like some cartoon from the movie that maybe it's some Mexican thing that I'm just not privy to.
I looked it up. So yeah, it was like some super popular Mexican cartoon that was supposed to be a wink to that audience. So that wasn't for you. So
okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'm sorry. I'm just a nigger on the outside looking in. Did you notice the movie paid homage or maybe just straight up copied other things in media? Like, did you notice how it copied like the Shazam flight sequence when he jumps off the roof and he gets the formation and then blasts off? I thought that was like maybe an homage to Shazam. Maybe did you think that?
Not. No, I mean, I didn't make the connection.
Okay.
If I'm being real, no.
Okay, it was very similar.
Cool.
Or even the whole Black Panther thing, ancestral plane with his father. Like I know Mexico has like the Day of the Dead thing,
Yeah.
but it's just it felt very like almost like a ripoff of like Black Panther and when he met his father in the ancestral plane, and of course the Mortal Kombat Scorpion scene, like get over here.
Get over here.
That was
yeah.
that was definitely Mortal Kombat inspired.
Yeah. NetherRealm
but yeah.
will be knocking on your door on Monday, bitch. Because who the fuck do you think you are? And you know something else that really was like kind of annoying about the film. They tried really hard to get Ted Kord to matter. Like they tried so hard. Like Ted Kord, he's gone, he's vanished. And then the end was like, I'm alive. I'm in the quantum realm. You're like, nigga, nobody cares, bro. Like nobody cares. we don't care. No, we don't care.
That's the first Blue Beetle, bro.
Yeah, okay. This nigga was running around in a fucking super suit. We don't care, bro. I'm sorry.
All right. Last movie review here, guys, is for Last Voyage of the Demeter. Do you want to go first?
Nope. Monty, we're
right.
going to start with the bad and end with the good. Go.
This nigga swear he's saving the best for last.
I am.
So this movie, I've mentioned before, it did not have to do much to get me in the seat. Like I saw the first 30 seconds of the trailer. We got Sir Davos from Game of Thrones on a fucking boat. And there's Dracula picking niggas off one by one. Bitch, sign me the fuck up, bitch. I was in that bitch opening night, nigga.
Yeah.
And the trailer's kind of misleading because Liam Cunningham, who plays Sir Davos, is not the main character at all. It's definitely Corey Hawkins' movie. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm a fan of Corey Hawkins now. Like, bro, he did really, really good in this role. I was surprised. I mean, not surprised. I mean, he's done good in everything I've seen him in. He was great in Straight Outta Compton. He was great in the Heights.
Walking Dead.
Kong Skull Island, Walking Dead. Like, I don't know why it just never computed to me. Like, this guy's actually really good, and he got his own movie and he shined. I thought he did really, really good in the lead. I was really surprised. I'm a fan of this guy. The design for Dracula was really, really cool. I really fucked with it. It kind of gave like Smeagol vibes from Lord of the Rings at points, maybe like a Voldemort vibe here and there. Like a homage to like Nosferatu, the original Dracula spinoff thing. I thought it looked really, really cool when it was practical. When it was CG, you could kind of tell, but maybe that's just like to the budget, which I don't ever blame movies for their budget. But when it was practical, it looked really, really dope. I love the idea of him like picking off people. The actual director said that this movie was inspired by Alien. He was a big Alien fan, and so this is kind of like his version of Alien. So
I can see that.
That's really, really cool. And also the ship set piece, they did all they could with it, man. I never imagined how scary, if you think about it, a ship could be at nighttime when something on there is haunting you and you don't have anywhere to go because the vastness of the sea is around you. They did a really good job of showcasing how scary it can be at night on a ship when you're being haunted by something you can't really see. So that was really, really cool. My only issue with the movie, though, I love everything about, like, I love the components of it, but the pacing, man, it ebbed and flowed way too much for me. It felt like after a certain point, it'd be like really, really cool sequence of Dracula or just a really cool like dialogue sequence. And then 15 minutes just dragging and lagging. It's like, okay, cool. I get it. It's set up. But after a while, you can't have set up the entire movie. You got to get going at some point. And the movie just kept stopping its own momentum, in my opinion. Like, you have a really, really cool scene. We lag for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Really, really cool scene. Lag again. And so that's why the grade ultimately came down. But I really enjoyed a lot of things in this movie besides the pace. I gave it a C+. That's just my thoughts. Why? What the fuck is? Cool. What the fuck is? Why do you just do that? What the fuck is funny, bitch?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I give it a C+. Oh, okay, God.
I did enjoy it. I did give it a C+.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right. This movie was absolutely fucking amazing. If you're a classic horror fan like I am, then you saw every nod, you read every tea leaf, and you absolutely love this movie. This is how you do horror. Like, I'm so glad that we're back to putting some fucking respect on Dracula's name. Like, I'm sick and tired of these movies coming out where either everything's a joke or it's just like no, bro. Like, Dracula isn't like the rest of these niggas. Like, this nigga is the devil. And one of the things that I loved, it was something subtle that they did, but they referenced him as the devil like multiple times. I just love that. There's like a lot of like lore things that they did here. One being that Dracula, his cane that he used. First of all, wait, let me just stop. The ending of this movie is absolutely hilarious. Like,
bro, I died. I died laughing, bro. I died laughing.
I was in the theater like, wait, what? Like how? How could you?
Van Helsing?
Yeah, like I was like, bro, because all right. So look, guys, like I gave this movie an A, but like it almost dropped down to a B.
Hold on.
I gave this movie an A. This movie is amazing. I gave this movie an A. But it almost dropped down to a B because of that end scene. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like this is like two separate things right here. But I'm all right. Let me back up. The design for Dracula was just amazing, bro. I loved the almost it reminded me of Van Helsing, like the Hugh Jackman, what early 2000s Van Helsing, whatever it was.
Great movie, by the way.
Great movie. I love that movie. And I think one of the best things that they could have done was go away from like this super good looking, smooth talking Dracula, because it makes him less terrifying. And I'm glad that he was more like just a beast or like an animal, because it made the scenes more tense and it made it more scary in my opinion. I love that they actually went there with some of the scenes. Like in a lot of films, especially horror, they don't really go there in terms of like, all right, we're gonna kill the kid and the dog. Like Jesus Christ, like both of those were like, whoa, like okay, like this is the kind of horror movie we're getting. Like they're actually gonna do this and they're gonna show it. Like Dracula fucking murked that kid. It's like it seemed like for a second, like okay, little Timmy's gonna get away. No, bitch. Like I am the night. Like here I am. Like I'm hungry. And to see that Dracula was rationing them off because they were at sea was just like whoa. Like okay, like this nigga's not just a mindless beast. Like this nigga's him for real. Like he's like I am going to survive. On only one of you may. The one thing that I didn't love was the whole blood transfusion thing, but I guess this is just them taking liberties and saying, you can prolong the transformation and whatever. It didn't take me out the movie. I was just like, okay, whatever. I love the practicality that they used when the new vampires or whatever you want to call them were burning at the stake. Like that was like super cool visually. The boat thing. Yeah. Like you, like all I needed to hear was Dracula in a boat. And I was like, opening night, Thursday, 5:00. Yeah. Like I'm there, clearing my schedule, calling off work. I'm fucking there. It was just like so warranted. Like we've seen Dracula hunt niggas in the city. We've seen Dracula in a mansion. We've seen him in tombs. Like it's good for like that just weird change of pace. Something that, when you hear it on paper or even you hear it out loud, you're just like, Dracula on a boat, like, it's kind of stupid. But it absolutely worked in my opinion. You're right. Like, those scenes when it's just pitch black outside and, like, you look over and you just can't see anything but just pure darkness. And then there's Dracula, bitch. Like, you just, like, there's no escape. Like, you're fucking done. I also like some of the lore that the girl was telling them. Like Dracula's been terrorizing my city for hundreds of years. Like I don't know how to deal with this nigga. Like it was just funny because it was like they were just like, come on, man. Like clearly you know what to do. She was like, I don't actually. Like my family's been slaves to this nigga for generations. Like I literally don't know what to do here. But yeah, man, I absolutely love this movie, man. I think the that they definitely set it up for sequels, and I think the ending. The ending was so funny because it was just so out of character for the Dracula that we had seen to that point. But obviously, this is just him. I guess the people, yeah. The nigga had a cape and a top hat. I was like, wait a minute, Dracula. This nigga was funny, yeah. So I guess him in the beginning, somehow he got caught and he was just blood deprived, or maybe he was just on a sleep schedule and he needed the blood.
No, the whole point was they said it in the movie. He killed everybody back in Transylvania, where the girl's from. He needed a new source of feeding, so he wanted to go from Transylvania to England, so he could have a new food supply.
Oh my god! Okay, so I completely missed that. So I heard those things individually, but I just didn't make that connection. Okay. So then that makes sense. Okay, so he has people helping him, which makes sense. Okay, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So yeah, now the niggas in England got to be killing everybody. The Wolfman is coming. His cane was a wolf emblem, and at the end, the lady mentioned something about the Moors being dangerous at night, which is classic Wolfman stuff. So I'm here for it, man. Like I never thought that going into this movie there would be that I would want a fucking sequel and that Corey Hawkins would be Van Helsing, but here we are. Here we are because he's literally Van Helsing. Like he's
Van Helsing.
He's him. Like he's Van Helsing. Like
no, he's nigga Helsing. Nigga Helsing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely love this movie, man. This is one of the best movies I've seen all year. I gave it an A. Like I was so happy with this.
No, bro, it could have easily been one of the best movies of the year for me. Like I said, it had all the ingredients. Just the pacing for me personally was just a little too inconsistent. But like you said, though, like I love how they killed the kid, like how they actually went there. I love when movies actually cause you know when you see a kid in the movie, like he's not gonna die.
Yep,
and sure enough, he died.
Mm-hmm.
And that peephole scene was so eerie. Like that was one of the scene where they looked at the peephole, you just see Dracula like coming to the kid. Like I was like, oh, that's actually like kind of haunting. Like that's kind of crazy. And the whole thing with him flying, I don't know why. I'm a big Vampire Dracula fan. I totally forgot this nigga can fly. I remember that nigga tried to escape on the boat.
Getting away, yeah.
I heard some wings. I heard some wings flapping. I said, "Oh no, that nigga can't fly your head." Yeah. So I forgot about that.
Yeah, they did a really good job of showcasing his intelligence, because there's multiple times where it kind of just seems like he's just a beast, or like he's just a mindless animal. But then he reminds you very quick, like, "Oh, you thought you was getting away, nigga?" Like, oh, like, damn. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, the ending, bro. I got to speak on that. I said, Nick, like I literally was watching the movie, like, nigga, what the fuck you gonna do? Because this nigga was like, nigga Helsing was like,
rubbed him on the neck. I was like, nigga said,
bruh. But nigga Helsing said, I'm gonna find him. I'm like, nigga, what?
And do what? Exactly. Yeah.
You're a nurse, bitch. But yeah, so if the sequel is nigga Helsing hunting Dracula in London, count me in, bitch.
Yeah, you'll be there opening fucking night.
opening, and it's so cool too how this movie is actually based on like an actual chapter from the original Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like there actually was a Voyage apparently. So this is like a screenwriter's dream. Like I'm a screenwriter. Like if I saw this, like I'd be like, yeah, I'd love to tackle that. Like you could do so many things with that. So yeah, I loved it. I loved it to an extent, man. It could have been really great, but for me, I gave it a C+.
Got it.
All right. Moving on. Some DC Marvel shit. You know how we do. Reportedly, this is so funny to me. Nothing was ever promised to Gal Gadot about Wonder Woman 3. Last news pod, we reported that she confirmed with James Gunn that part 3 is in the works. But apparently nothing was ever promised to her happening about any kind of like definitive discussion about her returning to the new DCU. I guess James Gunn and Peter Safran were like, bitch, can we get some head? And then I'll make Wonder Woman 3. And she was like, no. He's like, okay, well, bitch, we didn't confirm shit, bitch. You ain't getting no fucking Wonder Woman 3, which I knew wasn't going to happen. I called it last pod, but what are your thoughts on this, and do you even care?
I think it's going to happen. This is just a formality because maybe contracts aren't signed or whatever the case may be. It's absolutely happening. You don't have a conversation with those guys if it's not happening. So it's happening.
Yes, you do. Nigga, I'm pretty sure The Rock had a conversation with those niggas, and it didn't happen for him. Like, what are you talking about? And also, if you do a Wonder Woman 3, you're implying that Wonder Woman 1 and 2 happened, which had huge implications on the old DCEU. That makes no sense to include her. It makes zero sense.
Monty, I know that. But guess what? They don't care. So, yeah, they're going to do it. I'm literally not going to get my hopes up that it's not going to happen because it is. So, there.
Okay. In terms of Marvel, Anthony Mackie requested a love story with Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow. Apparently, multiple times was the quote. This is a horny ass nigga. I don't blame him. I would have did the same thing. But Feige said, no, nigga.
I think it's funny because it's probably super true. Like,
yeah.
like Anthony Mackie definitely seems like the type of nigga. Like, come on, bro. Like, one scene,
Please, like, bro, like, let me just fuck one time.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure Scarlett Johansson was like, no,
yeah.
no. Anyway, and last bit of news here, guys. Florence Pugh is reportedly Disney's top choice to play Rapunzel in the rumored live-action adaptation of Tangled. Did you ever watch Tangled? I know you hate Florence Pugh, but did you ever watch Tangled? And are you here for a live-action adaptation of it?
I don't think Florence Pugh is a great actress. I do not hate Florence Pugh. And Tangled, nope, never seen it. Don't care. Mondi?
I am a huge fan of Florence Pugh. I think she's an amazing actress. I don't know what you don't see. I think she's a little bit too old, maybe, to play Rapunzel in Tangled. I mean, I kind of interpret her. Yeah, but I kind of interpret her like all the Disney princesses like teenagers, right? Like, but then again, I guess we've seen other live action princesses that weren't like Emma Watson or Naomi Scott in Aladdin. So possibly it could work, but who knows? But yeah, live action Tangled coming, guys. That's it. You have any more thoughts?
I can't remember what's coming out soon that we care about. Nothing good, huh? Damn. Coming soon is Gran Turismo. I don't give a fuck.
Actually, really good movie.
3. Oh,
September 1st.
You're going to see that bullshit?
Of course.
Equalizer 3, Denzel Washington. Yeah, you have fun with that. Okay, yep. Monty, you're amazing. That's it.
All right. Thank you.